decide where to put a comma in a sentence. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and here were some students' answers. I put a comma whenever I take a breath. I use a magic 8-ball. If I read a sentence and I pause, I put a comma. I look for a sentence that is too long and find the best place to put a comma. I use textbook rules, but I don't know the names of them. I put the comma where it sounds right. Well, my friends, this is not a very good method as people talk at different speeds and pause in different places. Hey, after a couple of cups of coffee, I talk so fast that I don't stop to breathe for at least 3 sentences. And what about those auctioneers you watch on TV who don't pause till someone bids on something? A run-on sentence, which is a sentence which runs into another sentence without punctuation, is not called a run-on sentence for nothing. Well, I'm going to provide you with 5 simple tips to using commas correctly. It won't be everything you wanted to know about commas but were afraid to ask, but it will get you through your business correspondence without too many mistakes in comma usage. I will try and avoid the textbook talk so you can make sense of what I'm saying. Are you ready? Tip 1 is use commas in a series if you are listing 3 parts or more. There's always this huge dilemma about whether you should put that comma before the and, or but. Do it. Believe it or not, if you don't do it, there might be some slight differences in meaning. Let's look at this first example. I like pickles, green eggs, ham, and raisins. The meaning here is that you like these 4 separate things. Okay, now let's look at example 2. I like pickles, green eggs, ham, and raisins. In this case, you like 3 things. Pickles, green eggs, and your grandmother's recipe of ham with that raisin dressing that she makes. Yuck, I hate raisins in anything. Do you get it now? Let's move on to tip 2, which is to put a comma after an introductory word, phrase, or clause. Let's look at some examples of commas after words. Unfortunately, I cannot give you this job. How about if you're giving directions for preparing for an interview? First, comma, go out and buy a nice interview outfit. Here are some examples of commas after introductory phrases or groups of words. Because of the long wait, comma, Bob decided not to wait. Due to the delay, comma, the plane didn't take off. Are you okay with commas after introductory phrases? Then you have the old introductory clause, which is really a phrase that the textbooks call subordinate clauses because they aren't complete. They depend on the main clause to complete them. Here are some examples. If you require further information, in this sentence is the subordinate clause. It depends on the main clause, which is, please contact me at the above address. Here's another one. When you schedule an interview with a prospective company, comma, make sure you know how to get to that company. Got it? The next tip is tip number 3. This has a mnemonic device. It's fanboys. Tip 3 is to separate 2 independent clauses that are connected by a coordinating conjunction. Oh, gobbledygook? Oh, you bet. An independent clause is just a complete thought or sentence, like, you wore a lovely hat. Here's another one. You didn't wear anything else. In the second example, my hamster loved to play is a complete thought. I gave him a hula hoop, another complete thought. Here is Super Fanboy to tell you what those coordinating conjunctions are. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Just remember that you have to have a complete thought on one side and a complete thought on the other. Put your comma before the for, before the and, before the nor, before the but, before the yet, before the so. and you have conquered this tip like super fanboy. Let's look at some examples. Susie quickly put up her hand, for she knew the answer to the question. Maria used the correct memo format, and she started her memo with the news. Marcelo neither proofreads his work nor does he give it to someone else to read. George likes to do creative writing, but he doesn't like to do professional writing. You can either sell your book at the bookstore, or you can go to usebooks.com and get a better deal. He writes clearly, yet he doesn't communicate his ideas concisely enough. The designated smoking section on campus is unsightly, so I'm going to write a letter to the editor of the newspaper. Tip 4 has to do with non-essential information in your sentences. This is information that you can actually take out of your sentence, and the sentence is complete and has meaning. Here's one for your future accountants. My brother John, a punk rock accountant at F&F, pierced his left ear with a calculator. Take the punk accountant at F&F out, and you still have a complete thought. My brother John pierced his left ear with a calculator. My last tip has to do with interrupters. You know, like your cell phone ringing in the middle of your professor's lecture. The first sentence about Jane saying John has a great body doesn't need a comma. There's no interruption there. No interruption there. Now let's look at the second sentence where John is doing the talking. Jane says John has a great bod. Remember that your interruption is in the middle of one complete thought or sentence. How about this one? I feel, however, that you don't have the qualifications we are looking for in this position. That little interrupter, however, is your cell phone ring in my sentence. I feel that you don't have the qualifications we are looking for in this position. Oh, I've simplified comma use for you, I know. But I hope these 5 tips help you the next time you sit down and draft an email, memo, or letter. Promise me that you don't use the magic 8 ball, the breathing rule, or the rule that says put the comma where it sounds right.